Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus, Grace Meng. Yay, Grace. And the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, my cousin, Yvette Clark. But first, we are going to hear from a medical professional who is also a mom. So welcome, Dr. Tamara Blackwood.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Tamara Gail Blackwood, and I'm a pediatrician right here in DC. Every day, I take care of children and families who depend on Medicaid to keep their children healthy and safe. A few weeks ago, I saw a little boy and his family had a lapse in their Medicaid coverage. During that time, the family had to decide between keeping their lights on and paying for their child's controller medication. That ended up, for him, he ended up in our emergency room. He had a prolonged ICU stay, and he almost did not make it. Medicaid is not a luxury. It is a lifeline. It is keeping our children in not only our local community, but our national community alive. For some of my teenage patients, the mental health care access that Medicaid affords could be the difference between life and death. Medicaid keeps our children healthy. As Representative Clark was telling us, Medicaid pays for over 24 million births in this country. That means when I see patients and they're healthy, so many times it's because their mothers had access to the prenatal care that Medicaid affords. Medicaid not only keeps our kids healthy before they're born, but when they're right in front of us here too. We need to choose our children, and that means keeping Medicaid intact and our premiums low. I'd like to yield to Representative Leisure Fernandez.
Thank you. Thank you. And each of the stories that we're hearing today are going to be echoed across every community in America. Each of the stories is heartbreaking and unique, but it is nevertheless reflecting stories that could be told in millions of households. So I want to thank you, Democratic Whip Chair Clark, for bringing these stories to D.C. today for us all to hear. And we know that a government shutdown will hurt women the hardest. Women are the majority of the federal workplace. But we also know that women are the ones who are worried about taking care of their families, making sure that their families are healthy, who are having those babies, who are standing up and being there when there is an emergency. And women do not abandon their families during an emergency. But today we know that Republicans have abandoned America during this emergency health care crisis. Because what is the question we should be asking, not is who to blame for the shutdown, is what are the consequences? That's the question. Who will be harmed if we don't stand up for America's health care? And that's why it's so important to hear the stories of not just the doctors, but of the mothers who are doing everything they can to keep their children healthy. Yes, I am Teresa Leger Fernandez, and I am very proud today to introduce another Teresa, Teresa Luoni, a mother raising twin boys. I am also the mother of twins, Teresa. So you and I share a lot in common, and we are in this fight together. Please join me.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Teresa Luoni, and I'm the single mother of twin boys, Dylan and Max, who are both profoundly autistic. Dylan is nonverbal, but deeply empathetic. His smile can brighten the hardest of days, and he loves to help with chores, especially gardening and landscaping. Max is pre-verbal, but he's already taught himself how to read, solve math problems, and master technologies in ways that constantly surprise me. In fact, let me share a story that always makes me laugh. One day, Max hacked into his program security system so that he could play fart noises over the intercom for the whole building. It caused a lot of panic when they were trying to figure out who was watching the cameras. And I was pretty scared that he was able to hack into something like that. But it also reminded me that my boys aren't defined by their challenges. They're full of light, mischief, and possibility, just like any other kids. But here's the reality. Because of their profound needs, it has fallen on me as their mother to provide round-the-clock care. Like so many women, I had to step away from my career. I spent decades as a retail operations manager. I was proud of that career. It gave me stability and independence. But when my boys needed more, I left. Not only that job, but over the past 2 years, 6 part-time retail jobs that I had to choose to either stay at work or leave and take care of my children. And a mother will always choose her children. That choice has meant living in poverty. It has meant putting my own stability and career aside, and has meant relying on Medicaid. Not because I want to, but because without Medicaid, my children's therapies, their medical care, and even the chance for them to thrive would be impossible. So when we talk about cuts to Medicaid, I need you to hear this. We're not talking about numbers on a page. We're talking about my children losing their lifelines. We're talking about kids like Max, whose talents could one day make him a computer genius, or maybe just the world's best prankster, never getting the support he needs to reach his potential. We're talking about kids like Dylan, whose empathy and joy could change the lives of everyone around him, being denied the chance to shine. And as women, as mothers, we know who carries this burden. It's us. It is the mothers who step out of the workforce, who live in poverty, who shoulder the invisible labor of caregiving, only to have the government threaten to take away the one thing that keeps our families afloat. No mother should have to sacrifice everything, her income, her career, her stability, only to be told that her children's lifelines are too expensive. Yet that's exactly what these cuts would do. I believe with all of my heart that every person has a gift to give the world if they're given the chance and the support. Medicaid is what gives my children that chance. Taken away won't just devastate my family. It will devastate futures that deserve to be built. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Teresa. And now we'll hear from Representative Grace Meng.
Good afternoon, everyone. There's a trend here. Hi, I'm Congresswoman Grace Meng from Queens, New York, and I just want to thank our outstanding Democratic Whip, Catherine Clark, for bringing us together this afternoon. Thank you, Catherine, for always making sure that we prioritize our children and our families. As the mom of 2 boys, as you know, I know firsthand how vital it is for women and families to have access to the health care that they need. But the recent Medicaid cuts made by Republicans and their refusal to extend tax credits for health care premiums are unacceptable. These attacks on our healthcare system need to end, and I will keep up the fight to protect our healthcare and lower costs. I'm so proud today to introduce Laura Packard, a stage 4 cancer survivor. The Affordable Care Act helped to save her life. But the day after her first chemotherapy session, the Republican House voted to dismantle the ACA. Fortunately, this repeal did not happen, and she will now talk about how she would be hit hard if her